On this episode, I talk about being an actor, being a mom, and being a recent graduate. You ask questions, and I answer them. This is the Ask Gary Vee Show. Hello, everybody. This is Gary Vaynerchuk, and this is episode 70 of the Ask Gary Vee Show. Lovely Monday morning. Goddamn icy rain, snow mix in New York has completely flipped my entire schedule. It's insane the lack of grit in New York City area right now is pissing me off. The fact that I've had 7 different meetings canceled today is disturbing at best. And if you're watching the show and you canceled on me, yes, I'm calling you out. You're soft. All right, excited about the show. Last episode was super great. Tried to get one in on Friday, but then we got crunched at the last second. Almost got a 5er in last week, which would have been insane. Want to thank all the Vayner Nation listening to the podcast and watching the show, enjoying it. We've hit a milestone, episode number 70. A little fun fact, I don't know if you know this, but 99.6% of all shows on YouTube never make it to their 70th episode. I made up that fact. Let's put up the made up fun fact logo there, and let's go into the show. You like that, huh, Stefan? Let's go.
Neil asks, looking for a marketing job right out of college is tough, especially finding one that's not sketchy. How do you find a job that's the right fit?
The answer, who asked the question again? Neil. It sounds like, by the way you're asking the question, I'm glad we're getting to attack this, that you're looking at what is deemed as internet marketing, right? When you say that all marketing jobs are scummy out of school, I think what you're falling into is kind of those ebook, kind of landing page, you know, the bad version of all these great growth hackers out there, the bad version of that, right? Lowest common denominator, play an arbitrage, internet marketing, buy my ebook in the back room in the discs, MLM. It sounds like you're going down a funnel and what you deem as marketing is scummy, and I understand a lot of that gets into dark marketing, but 98% of the marketing jobs in the world are like working at VaynerMeet. This is marketing, like, so first of all, I recommend recalibrating how you're positioning marketing and make sure that you're not going down the rabbit hole of internet marketing. And I keep quoting it like this. First, I love air quotes, and we all know that. But second, there is that term for, just copywriting, make landing pages of like red and yellow and buy this, and whether you're selling supplements or an ebook or information, play that game out. That's not the world of marketing that I believe in or think about. And so I would tell you that there are 8 billion agencies, marketing, digital, social agencies out there, and I would immediately go get an internship if you can't get a job and prove that you've got the chops, right? I mean, it's unbelievable how high of a percentage of the interns that we get here at VaynerMedia we offer a job to. One, we're growing fast, so that makes sense, but they've come in and they've hustled. And so the lack of internship out of college, if the market is bad, blows me away. It seems like the market's getting better. Jobs are being created more at this scale than, say, 24 to 36 months ago. But the famous D-Rock story or any other story, like the ability for you to go and work for somebody pro bono to get a resume. I mean, look, to me, if you're struggling to get a job for 2, 3, 4, 5 months out of school, why in the world you wouldn't take a half of your day each day to then work somewhere for free or intern or whatever it is to A, pick up skills, B, network, C, learn your craft in action and watch it, D, create the leverage and almost guilt your employer into hiring you or making them tell somebody else to hire you. Better than sitting around and moping about why it's not working out, unless you're out there literally in job interviews or sending resumes. I mean, you've got 18 hours in a day to execute this. And so, to me, you could be doing that from 7 p.m. till 2 in the morning, and then from 9 to 7, you can go do it. Go work at a pro bono place or a museum, or put your skills into action if you're a marketer.
Dana asks, how would you advise a young woman to brand herself on YouTube if she's worried about privacy and security for her family?
Dana, that's a tough question for me to answer because I'm acutely aware that a lot of practices that I do, I would struggle to execute if I was a woman. And definitely, like, the thing that I spend a lot of time on this lately, serendipitously, I've been in a couple of meetings with a couple of friends that are what I would call very attractive girls, and that becomes an, call it whatever you want to call it. That becomes a whole nother variable. And so, women have it different. I mean, I'm thrilled for people to leave comments, and I know they will, and say no, yes. Women have it different, African Americans have it different, like Latinos have it different, like context out there is different. White males have certain advantages, and putting yourself out there as a woman leads to dudes being dudes. And what I mean that is dudes are jerk-offs and they're scumbuckets, and it's just how we roll. Like don't be mad at us, like we were given chemicals that made us want to be hunters, and we just don't know how to handle that 94% of the time. I'm in the 6%. And so, what I would say is carefully. I mean, I'm petrified to give an answer here because if one deems into, an uncomfortable situation for you. But I think that there's different levels. I mean, here's a good example. It is very hard to find pictures of my kids on the internet, right? And your question actually has your child in the picture. I'm not calling you out for that. I'm saying clearly you have some comfort level of putting yourself out there. This is not an answer for me or for anybody else. It's an answer for yourself. But what I would tell you is to be careful, but to recognize that people are good. The number one underrated brand in the world is human beings. The mainstream media spends all of its time telling us about the terrible 0.01% of us as humans, but the truth is, it is stunning in the world that we live in now, where everybody's putting out their information, where they are, how they roll, who their relatives are, how empty their home is. Remember when Foursquare came out and everybody was like, oh, everybody's gonna rob you because, let's put up that article. I'm gonna find it. It's put it up here. This was an article that was literally written. Google right now, burglar, Foursquare, robbing your house. Everyone's like, oh, you can't check into places because people are gonna know you're not home and they're gonna rob you. Ludicrous. You found it already?
There's something called Please Rob Me.
Yeah, please rob me. It doesn't happen because 99.999% of us who are watching the show, living in this world, are good people. So, look, I'm not giving you advice on this because I care way too much about the health and well-being of your family, and I care way less than you do. So you need to roll your way. But I will say this. People are good. And it's stunning how many more bad things can happen to you by percentage than the stalker that's gonna come to your house and hurt you. It is far riskier to drive a car than 99% of the things that people talk about around social media. So, that's just my context point, but I will not give you an answer because when it comes to family, everybody has to make their own decisions.
Johnny asks, any tips on giving a great right hook?
Sweep the leg, Johnny. Sweep the leg. And that's literally how I think about this. I mean, the fact of the matter is you gotta go in for the kill. Just much like Karate Kid, where that quote's from. His teammates sweep the leg, Johnny, go in for it. How do you throw a right hook? Honesty. You know what a good Super Bowl commercial is, in my opinion? Hey, I'm Gary Vaynerchuk. I'm the CEO of Toyota. I want you to buy cars from us. Let us know how we can make that happen. That's a good Super Bowl commercial. Because forget the pony and the eagle and the cute dog and everything else. You want to sell cars. And I think that Americans, you know what? Let's do a test case right now. What's Jab, 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 Right Hook's Amazon ranking right now? I'm gonna show you, Johnny, how to sweep the leg. What's the Amazon rank right now on Jab? Do you know how to find it? I know how to find it real fast since I look at it all the time. You probably don't, India. I mean, all the time when I'm selling, I haven't looked at this in months and months and months. 2,847, that's the rank. Ready? Everybody who's watching this show, it would mean the world to me to be able to land the right hook I'm throwing right now. A lot of you have the book already. So it's hard for me to ask for, how much is it on Amazon right now?
Right now, it is $17.43 hardcover.
$17.43 and Kindle? $14.99. I am asking every single person who's watching this show right now to buy one Jab, 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 Right Hook. It would mean a lot to me. I would prove my point to Johnny. I would equally benefit from that because I make $1 to 3 cents or $3 per book or whatever it is. At this point, I'm done promoting Jab, 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 Right Hook, but it's the most tangible thing that we can all watch together. I'd like you to buy more. If you were ever thinking about buying it for your staff, you can send one for your Kindle. Anybody who's watching, and if you've watched more than 25 shows of the Ask Gary Vee show and you don't own a copy of Jab, 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 Right Hook, you need to. That is absolutely a must. And so that is my right hook. And honestly, Johnny, that is, and obviously, I don't know how you can link up. Obviously, you can't go to Amazon, but link it in the comments. And that's a right hook. You just honestly ask. You try to create some guilt around it. Like, you've watched 30 shows. Can't you give me 15 bucks? You try different angles. You just go straight for it. You don't hedge. You ask for the sale of Jab, 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 Right Hook.
Gopi asks, how do you leverage social media when you're an up-and-coming actor?
You know, Gopi, I think one of the things that you need to be thinking about is your target audience. So yes, put out content. I love the stuff that you're putting out. I love the picture in a public store. And I've been seeing the love from you on Instagram, so I appreciate it, brother. You know, I think that one of the things I would do is map the people that can get you roles in your country. So literally you probably know the names of the casting directors or the networks that will book you, like literally down to the name, like Simon Thompson is, did I nail it, where he's from? Admit how good I am. India, tell me, let's talk about this. I'm a busy guy, right? Yeah. I'm a busy guy, so busy. Right? And the fact that you could bring him up right now and say that, and then I could tell you which country, you're impressed, admit it, because you're impressed. Cool. Sorry, that was just for me. India's just a pure character, and I just always love to show her like how into it I really am. That's good stuff, right?
That's really good stuff.
Thank you. All right, it's enough, D-Rock.
Back over there. Let's go.
D-Rock, come on, you're like weird. Look, I think there's the 50 to 80 people that you know the names of in Norway that book, you know, the television shows or the commercials or whatever you're trying to nail. And so I would go after them directly, meaning I would try to put content in front of them on Facebook if you can buy ads around the places they work. I would literally @reply all 80 of them. If they're on Twitter, let's call 4 of them are on there. So you could say, hey, but don't be stalkers like, hey, book me. Be like, you know, look for things they're talking about and reply to that. But in your situation, in many situations in a B2B world, for a lot of people that are watching this, find out who you're looking for and go directly at them by either running ads against them, right? So like their description, where they live, their age group, you can find them on Facebook dark posts. Go to look at LinkedIn and see who you're connected to with them and maybe put out content to that person. And maybe, I mean, look, if you have a buddy who's connected to the person that you need to get to, all right, India's connected to D-Rock, we're tight, but I'm not tight with D-Rock, and he's a casting person on Channel 2 in Norway. It's okay to say, India, I'm gonna put out a video that's really funny. If you can retweet it, that would be awesome because I know that D-Rock follows you and maybe he'll see it. That's an indirect, direct way, tangible, black and white piece of advice that may lead to the serendipity. I can go directly to D-Rock, or the other thing is D-Rock is on Twitter and he tweets about the presidential election in Norway or whatever, or the king, or you know, and I jump in and like get involved there. There's a lot of ways to make yourself aware. It's all tack. Right? It's like, how are you gonna roll up on that person if you want a relationship with them? Whether you're hitting on a girl or you're hitting on a guy. By the way, did you guys see the Julian Edelman Snapchat Tinder controversy? Oh. Anyway, that just made me think of it. Anyway, I gotta show you after we're done taping. Or you're trying to, you know, there was a business meeting I was in the other day where I wanted to get to the person, like, what's my way in that's not too forceful? You know, it's the mix, it's, you know, it's almost this imaginary blend of, what's the blend between a jab and a right hook? A jabberhook, you know, like there's something there, and so it's tack. It's always tact, and so, but I would say it starts with, you've got 80, I'm gonna assume there's 35 to 100 people that you know you need to get to them.
Well, so this is the video.
And by the way, before we go away, I know that this is gonna be cool, because please understand, Vayner Nation, in 2015, he can get to those 35 to 100 people. You couldn't before. 1989, you call like CBS and you're like, can I speak? No, they will transfer you to assistant. Like, you couldn't get to people. That's what the internet and what the maturity of the internet, the current state of the internet, the word we use to call the internet what it is right now, social media is. You can, and I don't mean LinkedIn. I've just been, as a lot of you know, been jamming on LinkedIn. I don't mean like hit him up and be like, I mean social. Like talking to the president of CBS on Twitter about the Super Bowl, which leads to awareness. I mean making a piece of content that gets shared by the friends so that the president sees it of CBS. You know, that. You can get to people now. That's huge. So many of you gotten to me, you couldn't have gotten to me in 1989. There would have been a secretary and Ruth would have been like, no. Ruth?
You ask questions, and I answer them. This is the Ask Gary Vee Show.
Ishmael, great question. Not really, actually. I actually think it's a very below average question. I wouldn't answer it unless I thought your talent was so awesome. I basically am answering this question strictly for two reasons. One, you've been a hardcore part of my community for the last 9, 10, 12 months at least. And two, that was really rad. I love that video, and I'm hoping that people who are watching this show might hit you up and have you do something for $500 for them. I think we should maybe even use him for something. Anyway, nonetheless, yeah, I don't know. Question of the day. What is your Snapchat username? Because I want to use the screen to like follow some of you. Here's mine. Good?
Yep.
Before I close with my, you keep asking questions, I'll keep answering them. I just want to say a couple of things. I am spending an enormous amount of time on Instagram, Snapchat, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter. My friends, we are living through, I promise you, I'm gonna look back at this clip in 35 years and be like, we are living through such an interesting time of communication and marketing, one that we've not seen in a very, I actually think the maturity of the internet's social graph right now, the most similar thing was really kind of like, you know, the beginning. This is the most I have felt disruption and opportunity since the 06, 07 Facebook and Twitter growth from, let's say, the MySpace Friendster beginning. Please understand that the next 24 months of hustle is probably a little bit more valuable than normal hustle because the stakes are high, the opportunities are high, there's a lot of disruption. People are just settling into a Facebook and Twitter world, and the world is moving on them. Take advantage. You keep asking questions, I'll keep answering them. The last episode? I don't care. I like wearing the same clothes. Clearly I like this sweater. Are you sure it wasn't the other blue one?
I don't remember.
I have another blue one that's super close. Show me. Show me. I'll freaking wear the same. I'm gonna wear the same sweater all week in your face, D-Rock. What do you think about that?
Let's see.
Because I have two that are super close. What are you talking about? Episode 69 wore a maroon sweater.
That was
the hell's your
Vayner episode.
Yeah, you guys are.
Using his
You guys are
collared
lost.
Sweaters.
Yeah, you guys are a bunch of lost kids. Well, you said. Oh, I thought you were putting the blame on India. Yeah.
I don't tell Gary what to wear.
Yeah. Nor should you, D-Rock. All right.